For centuries, the North Pole stood as a taunting, impenetrable fortress of ice, a geographical enigma that captured the imagination of explorers, scientists, and adventurers. It was more than a mere point on a map, it was the last great terrestrial prize, shrouded in myth and mystery. Early expeditions, fueled by the hope of discovering a navigable Northwest Passage, a lucrative trade route through the Arctic to Asia, met with repeated and often catastrophic failure. Ships were crushed by the relentless pressure of the ice, crews succumbed to scurvy and starvation, and the unforgiving cold claimed the lives of countless brave souls. The brutal reality of the Arctic was that its surface was a constantly shifting, lethal labyrinth of frozen ocean, a place where a man's every footstep was a gamble against a crevasse or a sudden ice flow. By the late 1920s, technology had advanced, yet the fundamental challenge remained. The first undisputed expedition to reach the pole, the airship Norge in 1926, did so by flying over it, a breathtaking feat that provided invaluable data but did not solve the riddle of terrestrial passage. The pole itself, the ultimate point, remained untouched by human hands. To many, it seemed an insurmountable barrier. But to Sir Hubert Wilkins, an accomplished and visionary Australian explorer, the problem wasn't the pole itself, but the method of reaching it. He had a revolutionary, almost heretical idea: what if you didn't fight the ice? What if you went beneath it? In a world still reeling from the pioneering flight of the Norge, Wilkins became convinced that the future of polar exploration wasn't in the sky or on the ice, but in the silent, dark world below. A submarine, he reasoned, could bypass the surface's deadly obstacles. It could travel for weeks beneath the vast frozen ocean, protected from the grinding ice flows, the biting wind, and the crippling cold that had doomed so many before him. This wasn't just a quest for glory, it was a mission of profound scientific importance. Equipped with the latest scientific instruments, a submarine's crew could conduct groundbreaking meteorological, oceanographic, biological, magnetic, and spectrographic experiments, unlocking the secrets of a world hidden from view. The vessel for this audacious plan would be a testament to a different kind of ambition. Wilkins found his answer in a retired American World War I-era submarine, the USS O-12. This warhorse of the seas, a humble patrol submarine, was a far cry from the sleek, modern vessels of the future. Yet in Wilkins' eyes, it was a blank canvas for innovation. The submarine was renamed Nautilus, a nod to both Jules Verne's famous fictional vessel and the pioneering spirit that the project embodied. The task of transforming this relic into a polar-capable explorer fell to the brilliant naval architect Simon Lake. Lake's modifications were as ingenious as they were audacious. To prepare the Nautilus for its duel with the Arctic ice, the hull was heavily reinforced, a steel fortress built to withstand immense pressure. The most striking of the external modifications was a heavily reinforced bow, designed not to break the ice but to deflect it, allowing the submarine to slip beneath massive flows. To protect the vessel from collisions, a massive, custom-built shock absorber and sledge runners were added to the keel, designed to allow the submarine to slide along the underside of the ice rather than be crushed by it. It was a bizarre, almost comical sight. A submarine built for underwater warfare now sporting features more akin to a futuristic sleigh. But the real genius of the modifications lay in the equipment designed for life under the ice. A diving compartment and airlock were added, allowing a diver to exit the submerged submarine and explore the depths without exposing the entire crew to the frigid water. The greatest innovation, however, was a system of 3 specially designed ice drills, capable of punching through the thick ice above. This was the key to Wilkins' entire strategy. The drills allowed the Nautilus to surface anywhere, even in the middle of a vast ice sheet. Once a hole was drilled, the crew could refresh the air, recharge the submarine's batteries, and, most importantly, even venture out onto the ice to conduct scientific work while remaining safely connected to their vessel below. The crew for this historic voyage was a mix of seasoned sailors, scientists, and engineers, a total of 20 men under Wilkins' leadership. They spent months in the shipyard, working tirelessly alongside Lake's team, familiarizing themselves with every new bolt and rivet of their heavily modified submarine. The sheer ambition of the project captured the public's imagination, and by June of 1931, the Nautilus and her crew were ready. With the world's eyes upon them, they set out for the Arctic, full of hope and a shared sense of destiny. They were confident they would not only reach the pole but also rewrite the rules of polar exploration. Yet, in their quiet moments, none of them truly grasped the immense physical and mental toll this journey would take. They were about to embark on a voyage that would test their will, their technology, and their very sanity, and almost immediately, their perfect plan would begin to unravel. The voyage of the Nautilus began with an air of grand adventure, a symbol of human ingenuity setting out to conquer nature's final frontier. But almost as soon as the crew of 20 men left the docks in June of 1931, the dream began to sour. The reality of the modified submarine was far more challenging than its blueprints suggested. The vessel, a World War I relic, was temperamental. Engine troubles plagued the crew from the outset, and a persistent, morale-sapping leak in the hull forced them to constantly pump out water. These were the kinds of problems that, while manageable, chipped away at the crew's optimism, a grim foreshadowing of the far greater challenges to come. The true ordeal began as the Nautilus reached the edge of the Arctic ice pack. This was the moment of truth, where Wilkins' revolutionary theory would be put to the ultimate test. They successfully submerged beneath the vast, undulating expanse of sea ice, entering a silent, alien world of perpetual twilight. It was a world of breathtaking beauty and terrifying danger. The sounds of the ice above. The deep, groaning symphony of floes grinding against each other, the sharp cracks of ice shattering, and the eerie echoes of an ocean in motion, were a constant, unnerving presence. For the crew, trapped in the steel hull, these sounds were a relentless reminder of the immense, crushing forces just inches above their heads. The innovative ice drills, the very core of Wilkins' plan, soon proved to be the project's greatest point of failure. The drills were supposed to be able to pierce the ice, allowing the submarine to surface for air and power. But in practice, the drills were difficult to operate and proved far less effective than anticipated. The constant stress on the submarine's hull from maneuvering beneath the ice pack added to the immense pressure, causing the vessel to shudder and groan under the strain. Each surfacing attempt was a tense, nerve-wracking affair, with the crew holding their breath as they navigated the narrow, ever-changing gaps in the ice. The final, decisive blow to the expedition's hopes came not from the ice, but from a catastrophic failure of the Nautilus's own equipment. A critical diving plane, essential for controlling the submarine's depth and angle, was damaged beyond repair. Without the ability to reliably control their vertical movement, the crew was faced with a chilling reality: they could no longer safely navigate the deep, unpredictable waters of the Arctic Ocean. The dream of reaching the North Pole under the ice became an impossible pipe dream. The mission was over. Sir Hubert Wilkins, a man of immense resolve, was forced to make the most difficult decision of his career. With the Nautilus crippled and the prospect of reaching the pole gone, he ordered the submarine to turn back. The return journey was a slow, agonizing retreat. The crew's disappointment was palpable. They had dared to dream of a feat that had eluded humanity for centuries, and they had come so close, only to be defeated not by the cold or the ice, but by a mechanical failure that stripped them of their ability to safely explore. The expedition, however, was not without its triumph. Though the Nautilus did not reach the North Pole, it proved a crucial point: a submarine could, in fact, navigate for an extended period beneath the polar ice cap. The voyage yielded a wealth of scientific data, and the lessons learned from the challenges faced by Wilkins and his crew were invaluable. The expedition's failure was, in its own way, a groundbreaking success. The Nautilus expedition, for all its struggles, laid the groundwork for future polar exploration. This legacy would be realized decades later in one of history's most famous polar voyages. The USS Nautilus, a nuclear-powered submarine named in honor of Wilkins' vessel, would successfully reach the North Pole by traveling entirely under the ice in 1958. This time, the submarine was equipped with technology Wilkins could only have dreamed of: a nuclear reactor for unlimited power, a specialized inertial navigation system, and a far more robust hull. The success of the USS Nautilus was built on the foundation of Wilkins' pioneering efforts, a testament to the fact that even in failure, groundbreaking progress can be made. The story of Sir Hubert Wilkins and his original Nautilus is a powerful reminder that sometimes, the true measure of an expedition is not in its ultimate destination, but in the lessons learned and the paths it opens for those who dare to follow.